All right, so we're going to get into some interesting subjects today. So I'm going to talk about my quitting coffee, and then I'm going to talk about something YouTube related, which is I got my first copyright strike. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and also maybe ask anybody who's got experience with that what their opinion is of what I went through. I won't give any names or anything like that, but um, something super shady happened, and that's why one of my previous videos was just a black screen because one of my videos got taken down. So I think I'll start with the YouTube thing first, and then I'll get into the coffee. And if you're not interested in the YouTube part, you can skip ahead, but I think you might be interested in it. So I'm not showing my face on the channel, just a personal choice for this particular channel. Um, and maybe that'll change in the future, maybe not. But without showing my face, sometimes I'll just use Creative Commons videos. So this video you're watching right now is a Creative Commons video, which means it's not copyrighted, it's fair use per the creator. So if you go into the description, after I search for Creative Commons videos and I put those parameters in and I put the time of the video, I want like over 20 minutes, Creative Commons, and I'll search for like a virtual walk, just any kind of video, maybe a bike ride, who knows. And it will filter all the results for only Creative Commons videos. So just like this video, I will use the video. I will give an attribution in my comments section or my description section of the video I post. So everything is on the up and up. They say it's not copyrighted, it's fair use. They want people to use their video, and in return, you give them attribution. It's a mutually beneficial situation. So on this last video, or one of the last videos that I've recently done, I did the same thing I do on all these Creative Commons videos. I did that search process. This particular video came up. It was Creative Commons. It had the license in their description that said um, no copyright, Creative Commons, free to use, or whatever the particular verbiage is. So I made the video, posted the video, and the next day I get an email from YouTube saying I have a copyright strike and the video was removed, and here are my options. So the basic options are you can contact the original creator, you can contact YouTube and tell them why you think it's an unfair strike and why you can use the video, and then take it from there. And you can also ignore it basically and take this little copyright school thing, and the copyright strike goes away in 90 days. So the first thing I did was I emailed the original creator and I just said, look, here's why I used your video. This is where I found it. I legitimately thought it was a copyright free Creative Commons video. If this was an error, either on my part or your part, I'm willing to, delete the video, take it down or whatever, if you would just kindly retract the copyright strike that they did on my channel. No response. So then I contact YouTube and I let them know why I used it and that I found it in Creative Commons. And YouTube didn't like that because I guess they couldn't prove where I found it or that it was Creative Commons. In other words, they're not going to do the footwork to find that out, which is fair. I understand that. I'm not angry about that. So what I wound up doing is I just took the little copyright school thing, and in 90 days that strike will go away. So the shady part of it is that video was definitely in the Creative Commons section, and they changed it after the fact. So rather than just contacting me and saying, "Hey, we miscategorized our video. Would you mind taking it down because we didn't intend it to be fair use because we spent money on it. We whatever the case may be." I would have had no issue with that. I totally respect other creators and their intellectual property. I would have taken it down. This particular other person slash channel chose to take the shady route and change it after the fact and do a copyright strike. So I would love to hear anyone else who's been through this, what you did. And in my mind, if I wanted to fight it, I could. And it would probably cost money. and time and aggravation and all that kind of stuff. So it's not really worth it to me. But what I was going to email them is basically a notice that I would subpoena the records of this particular video and their history with it, and I could easily prove if they changed it before the date I used it or after the date I used it. Is that worth it to me? Probably not. Having said that, I would love to hear anyone else's experience with this and what you did to either rectify it or actually prove that the other person doing this did it fraudulently. So I would assume that it's not worth it for most people to go after that and prove it, but I'm sure someone has. So I'd love to hear that story if you have one. All right. So second part, on to quitting coffee. So I quit coffee for about 50 days, give or take. I wasn't even counting each day or super serious about it, but I did want to see what happened. And I am back to drinking coffee. Not a ton. I didn't have a really huge habit of it before, but I will say that the one thing that helped or improved for me was digestion, like heartburn and acid reflux and that kind of thing. Maybe it was the type of coffee I was drinking, or maybe the amount. It's hard to tell. But that was the biggest thing. In terms of all the other things that people say they notice when they stop drinking coffee, like better sleep, less anxiety, um, who knows, like just all these other things, I didn't experience really any of that. So for me, there was one benefit, and if that benefit goes away after I start drinking coffee again, then I'll either reduce or change or modify it. But my sleep actually got worse, and my energy level during the day actually got worse. And I don't think it's a case where if I just waited longer, I think I did wait long enough. I just think that I do get benefits from drinking coffee with the caffeine during the day. And for whatever reason, for my metabolism, I've seen all kinds of different theories, but for me, I actually sleep better at night if I drink coffee during the day. And maybe I'm expending more energy, or maybe I have the flow of my day is better, but I'm more tired when I go to sleep, and I seem to sleep more soundly while drinking coffee during the day. So, and that's not something that was bad for me before I gave up coffee. There were nights where I could drink a cup of coffee like after dinner and fall asleep normally for a full night. So I might be one of those fast metabolizers that I think I've read about. But whatever the case may be, I'm back on coffee. And so that also, I think, makes the carnivore diet a bit easier for me because it's just something else to kind of not necessarily look forward to, but it's just a different thing to have. So, especially in the wintertime, something warm to drink. I'm not as tempted like, oh, is this my next meal or anything like that. I just have a nice warm cup of coffee. I tried tea, and sometimes tea is fine, but I'm definitely more of a coffee drinker than a tea drinker. So just wanted to give that quick update on coffee, tell you the YouTube story, and I'll probably do another carnivore update here soon. I have still been experiencing good effects from the carnivore diet. I am loosening up a little bit with cheese because I find that it actually helps me keep my blood sugar a little bit more stable over like long term, like overnight and that kind of thing. It also saves me from, I'm not trying to lose a bunch of weight. I'd much rather lose weight slowly and add muscle slowly. And I think it helps me to not lose too much weight too quickly, keep my fat levels higher, and just a more steady stream of fat and protein than just the beef. And I don't like adding too much butter, so cheese is just a good another thing to add, and it adds a nice texture to like ground beef, eggs, and cheese is a nice meal for me. I can eat that pretty much every meal. So still going strong with carnivore, drinking coffee again. I did start um, a stock market live stream and some stock market content. So if you like that, or even if you don't like it, maybe if you want to check that out and maybe give it a like, share it to anybody who you know who might like that kind of content. Although it is stock market related, I do kind of like the carnivore diet. I do talk a lot about psychological aspects of trading that apply to many different areas of life. So, although there is a lot of technical jargon and it's investment related, stock related, I do go into a lot of the psychological elements. Some of the psychological things that make you a successful carnivore make you a successful trader too. And I've actually been much better at trading since I've gotten on the carnivore diet because my emotions are more stable, my blood sugar is less up and down. So if you think it's just about the stock market and that turns you off, totally understandable, and it's not for everybody. And I totally get that. I was not um, into the stock market for the first half to 3/4 of my life. My father was a stock market analyst, and so although I had experience with it through him, it almost turned me off to it. So it took a big part of my life to actually realize, like, oh, this is interesting for different reasons than my father liked it, but there's a different aspect that I really enjoy to it. So again, if you like that kind of content or know someone who would, I would appreciate you sharing it. Or if you want to check it out yourself and just throw some comments in there, even if it's not your thing, I would really appreciate it. So there's the update. Again, if you have any advice on the YouTube, or if you've been through something similar with a copyright strike, I would love to hear that too. So hope everyone is doing well. I know I haven't gotten as many views on my carnivore videos lately. Maybe the algorithm has shifted a little bit, or I have to use more clickbaity titles, which I have no problem doing. It's not that big a deal. And I don't blame other people for doing that either. If you need to get views, sometimes you just need to get seen. So I'll try to figure that one out too, so there's more views. And thank you to everyone who does consistently comment and like and share. I really do appreciate it. So have a good evening or day, depending on where it is for you, and I will talk to you soon.